Tibetan Tantra, dual body practice. A shortcut to Nirvana or hell? Hello and welcome to my new today video. We talk about Tibetan Tantra dual body practice. A shortcut to Nirvana or hell? Please help me develop this channel by subscribing, commenting, and sharing. Exhibiting it to your friends and making them like it. Let's get started on this intriguing subject. 1. Tibetan Buddhism's brief history. Tibetan Buddhism is the primary religion of Tibetans worldwide. It includes Mahayana Buddhist teachings as well as tantric and shamanic rites. It is inspired in certain ways by Bon, Tibet's old indigenous religion. Aside from the Kora, prayer flag, mantra, and sutra traditions, Tibetan Buddhism is also notable for the existence of several deities and the reincarnation of lamas. In the 7th century, the Bon were introduced to Buddhism. When King Songtsen Gampo married two Buddhist ladies, he established a Buddhist kingdom. Princesses Wencheng of China and Brikuti Devi of Nepal. He attempted to impose Buddhism on the area. However, the local Bon religion's adherents were fiercely opposed. Around the end of the 8th century, King Trisong Detsen brought two Indian Buddhist gurus to Tibet. Padmasambhava, the mystic, and Shantarakshita. Master Shantarakshita established Tibet's first monastery. When Guru Padmasambhava utilized his authority to ward off malevolent spirits, halting the spread of Buddhism, Padmasambhava, Guru Rinpoche, integrated tantric Buddhist teachings with the native Bon religion, and established Tibetan Buddhism. Several Buddhist texts were translated into Tibetan by him. This resulted in the formation of the first Tibetan Buddhist school, Nyingma. 2. Definition of Tibetan Tantra dual body practice. In general, the Tibetan Tantra dual body practice is not closely related to original pure Buddhism. Something like that cannot be found in the original pure Buddhism books. The Tibetan Tantra dual body practice represents the pinnacle of Tibetan Buddhist teachings. The perfect yoga practice combines masculine and female bodies, yin and yang, to exercise in order to achieve nirvana liberty. Is it true that this practice leads to the greatest degree of enlightenment necessary to become a Buddha? Or is it just a fiction perpetrated by Tibetan lamas to gratify their desires? First, we must learn the fundamentals. Vajrayana is the Tibetan variant of Tantric Buddhism, also known as Tantra, as well as all other Buddhist sects. Aim for complete Buddha nature to become Buddha in name. Its name implies that Vajrayana is the environment to be attained. The indestructible Vajra, the diamond knowledge of Buddha nature, untainted by the calamities of life and death. Vajrayana is also the culmination of the three karma of the Buddha. The body, speech, and cognition are all interconnected. To become a Buddha after completing the three purifications is referred to as the three equivalent karmas, that is, in other ways, the three full karmas have Buddha nature. Vajrayana is the unbreakable union of emptiness, understanding, and exceptional compassion. Vajrayana's argument is that mystical ways of practice are frequently esoteric in character. Only a master can lead these techniques, who has practiced for many years. If the road to enlightenment is likened to mountain climbing, Tantra is like a cable vehicle, while Theravada Buddhism is like a climber. This allows practitioners to reach the summit quicker than any other method. This contrast may seem amusing, yet it is important for us to discuss the mystical techniques of this Buddhist school. Where hidden techniques might assist practitioners in making breakthroughs, they are on their spiritual road. When discussing Tantric Buddhism, it is hard to overlook the importance of the initiation process. The initiation to communicate and awaken esoteric truth is known as the opening initiation, awakening the capacity to perceive in the disciple's heart, who accepts the initiation and obeys the principles. As a requirement for engaging in Tantric Buddhism practice, to become an official Buddhist disciple, one must first visit this store and learn esoteric Vajrayana rituals. There is one practice that is quite contentious. This is the pinnacle of yoga, achieved via the physical combination of. To achieve the summit of emancipation, male and female yin and yang must practice. This strategy is only being taught to a restricted number of individuals. They have acquired enlightenment and the ultimate intellect, because only such individuals are capable of controlling their desires. Ordinary individuals are likely to grow lusty before engaging in practice. You can only go to hell if you commit adultery in the spring. However, according to the Dharma body that may be performed, to have direct intercourse with a lady on both actual and phantom bodies. This individual is a concubine, a dual body practitioner. And the phantom body is to believe. You're doing it with a young girl who helps you practice. The first reality in this practice is that dual body practitioners are females. They are carefully picked with incredibly stringent requirements. The females must be at the appropriate level. At the most, between the ages of 12 and 16. They must be under the age of 20 and yet virgin. Male practitioners interested in using this approach. A hidden temple must be visited. Normally, practitioners must look for work on their own. Miracles must be dedicated to their Lord. Female practitioners, commonly known as concubines, will be accepted by the master. I went inside a holy shrine to have sex. He will extract the virgin's sperm and blood after intercourse. Amrita, the magical water, is its name. Consuming the fruit in this manner will fulfill the mystery of initiation. According to Chapa Dharma theory, when the culmination of the sexual act is reached, the meridian's connection will briefly loosen, and there will be a wind. The light will enter the meridians and remain there. The body's clear and brilliant points will likewise merge into one. At that point, the practitioner will experience a state known as tremendous bliss. In this position and begin to meditate. The notion behind meditation is that it is really simple to sublimate into the soul and into the world of the samurai. In Buddhism, an ideological domain to achieve enlightenment. One of the most challenging aspects of developing this approach is to keep ejaculation under control when entering that region. The saddest part is that he gives birth to longing once again. According to Cha-Ca Chapa hypothesis, the body's chances of surviving will be quite high. Avoid giving birth to desire even when dreaming. The Cha-Ca Chapa philosophy also discusses how to overcome obstacles. It is critical to avoid becoming greedy. Not seeking passion implies not being greedy. Simply thinking about desire will cause the insight point to shift. Ejaculation results from the practitioner's glands. As a result, this approach is not applicable to everyone who can practice in turn. Having incredibly deep abilities and the ability to apply vast knowledge and limitless ideas toward nothingness, form, or emptiness. Then, perhaps, they'll be able to manage their urges. If you can get away from honed bliss and hope, then you will actually be able to disconnect from the outside world and break the cycle of life and death. Simply defined, if you want real enlightenment, a practitioner must possess at least superhuman willpower. He may utilize his willpower, often known as focus, to his advantage. Concentrating on a fruit on a branch, resulting in the fruit falling to the ground, and then using focus power to bring about that fruit to sprout up from the earth. Failure takes the form of growing on the second branch. Also called a solitary practice, this is when no concubine is available to practice. You might use the approach for suppressing lusty thoughts. To accomplish the purpose of producing pleasure, such as upon finishing the body practice. With concubine, Lama Tantra is as follows. If there was no genuine concubine with whom to practice, the wandering practitioner's masturbation would have enough strength to achieve it. Increase your knowledge without having to grow chi or chi veins. Sit on the peaceful cushion after pondering the pavilion. Consider a Buddha mother in a remote location, if desired. That is, envision and picture concubine. Is to be in tune with the mother wisdom Dharma's thought. If the concubine I envisaged at the moment really came in front of my eyes, then pay attention to my remarks and say hello. Make gestures that resemble glancing at her face. Investigate the body in relation to all activities performed in the void. Like an oar and an invisible female standing in front of your eyes in the emptiness. However, your mind imagines it to be true, leading to the ambiguous Dharma. That is what gives birth to peace, and hence gives birth to you. The body creates sexual pleasure, heat, sweats, and excretes water. You should notice at this point that essence is fundamentally empty. Even if you find yourself in a life-threatening scenario, you should not allow sperm escape. Such pleasure must gradually emerge and continue to masturbate. Then, if the pleasure has already arisen, masturbate it. In other words, if pleasure arrives, Press down on that region with the upper chi projector, resulting in an empty stomach and an upward gaze at Ming's body without moving. As the pleasure fades away, the body shudders, then masturbates and keeps practicing 3 times without interruption to achieve orgasm. Both of the approaches mentioned above suggest that the practitioners continuing to be consumed by such lusty feelings, causing pleasure to occur on a regular basis, and simultaneously appreciate it must be conscious that this sexual sensation is fundamentally colorless and formless. As a result, it is not counted just having fun with fictitious sexual pleasure, as if it were not part of the Buddha Dharma. This Dharma must be pursued carefully. Do not get complacent until you can have such passionate pleasure in all conditions. That is, you have found a lot of satisfaction in the domain. 3. The unfortunate consequences. There are several examples. Monks who seem to have gained enlightenment were accused of acts contrary to basic morality. The general public strongly rejects this conduct. Bhutan was formerly a highly popular nation, and bodily dharma. If the practitioners meet the right individuals, they will invite them to join their dual body practice. And the majority of them committed themselves. Because Bhutanese society was a society at the time when justice and the rule of law were together, and out of 10 decent individuals, at least one individual would undoubtedly play the evil role. Everyone wanted them to marry. The glory of the monks' practice prompted Buddhism to become chaotic during the time. Following that, Bhutan's king, Sir Wangchuck Dorji. This technique has been ruled illegal. Those who violate it will face consequences. Famous Buddhist Zen teachers Soharibol have been chastised. As a well-known Tibetan Buddhist teacher from Tibet, is also the author of the 1992 book Tibet on Life and Death. This book has been published in 34 different languages to far, having a total print run of over 30,000 copies. It was released in 80 countries. He was chastised by the authorities after 2 women claimed being raped by him. Until 2018, the Dalai Lama gave an official speech at a convention in India. Some Buddhist institutions are still inspired by feudalism, which must be eradicated. Conclusion. The legendary Tibetan Tantra dual body practices are absolutely unfathomable. It is a strange religion that is not fundamentally Buddhist. They discuss the path of liberation and Bodhi Buddhism, are diametrically opposed to the genuine meanings of the 3 vehicles texts, severely leading sentient people astray, causing individuals to pursue Buddhism over an extended period of time, unable to achieve enlightenment, while gradually deviating toward another direction, immersed in the 3 realms compounded and possessed dharmas. The more one practices, the deeper the sinking and falling becomes, unable of escaping on one's own. In the end, it will very likely result in perpetual rebirth, or slipping into one of the 3 wicked ways, cause quite significant injury to the student. However, relatively few individuals are aware of this significant issue. Although some individuals are aware of it both inside and outside of Tantric Buddhism, they are afraid to open their lips and speak it. They are frightened that if they speak the truth, they will do themselves injury and will be punished. Tantrics were assaulted, sabotaged, and sometimes persecuted and killed. They can only hold onto it in their hearts. But they don't dare to publicly declare it out loud, let alone daring to write it down on black and white paper. As a result, for a long period, no ordinary Buddhist student understood the nature of Tantra. They duped even high-level academics, without being aware of it. May be wary. Nowadays, the world's information is highly evolved. Learners' educational levels have significantly improved. Basic Buddhist information is well recognized among students in general. If there is someone who is not terrified of Tantra's great power, and is willing to stand up and expose the evil myths, with clear evidence in Tantra teachings, it will cause all the Dharma kings and Buddhists to live. The 3 iron words of Tantra cannot open their tongues to meddle, assisting all learners to fully comprehend the evil and falsehoods in the teachings of Tantra, which can cause learners to the Shun sect no longer abandons the Suan and Tantric studies, and no longer has to switch from the righteous Dharma to the pagan teachings. At the same time, it can also cause those who study Tibetan Tantra dual body practices to return to the righteous Dharma. This causes the situation of those who have studied Tantra in the past, who have been on the wrong path, who have studied for a long time without realizing it, or who practice wrongly and gain false knowledge, committing the crime of false speech karma, leading to the possibility of gradually falling into hell after giving up their lives. Gradually eliminated. The story of Buddhism in ancient India being destroyed by ancient tantric people will no longer recur today and in the future. The teachings of Buddhism will can maintain purity. Buddhism will be passed down for thousands of years from now on, without worrying anymore. Many students today and in the future can also avoid the evil views of Tantra. Generally speaking, the Tibetan Tantra dual body practice is not directly links to the original pure Buddhism. We cannot find out these information at all in entire Buddhism's books. The video for today has come to an end. We are grateful that you took the time to view this enlightening video. Remember to subscribe to our channel, so you don't miss any of the most groundbreaking content. If you enjoyed watching this video, showing it to your friends, and giving it a like. Bye and have a nice day.